Hello, this is Angela Tucum from the Lilypad, and today's challenge for our month of challenges being hosted by Anne is Torn Photos Collage. The idea is to have two photos that have a connecting subject, one of them torn and then the torn edge on an overlap of the subject. So here she has an example with a face, butterfly, and then the eyes and the face of this child. So for this challenge I was thinking of a dress that my daughter wore on Christmas Day, and it's the dress that I made for myself the year she was born. So I found a photo of me in that, and those are the two photos I'm going to use for the challenge. Now the dress includes a Harlequin panel, so I thought I would use this template by Soco, and the template set is called Diamonds number 4 in Design by Soco's store at the Lilypad. And where these photos are here, I'm going to put my torn photos. So the only part of the template I will actually use is the Harlequin shapes for the background. So we're going to start with that template. So let's drag that into Affinity Publisher, and there's the template. Now this is the journaling spot on the template, but obviously the font has come through super tiny on the import, so let's just increase that just so that I can see it more clearly. Whether I put my journaling there later on or not, we will see. To help with later on, as I'm only using this section as a guide and not actually using the elements, I'm going to group them together, and then it'll be easier to delete them later when I no longer need them for positioning. Right, now the challenge involves torn frames, and I like these ones by A Whimsical Adventure, also at the Lilypad, and they are a template where you put your photo in and all the torn edges already done for you. There are two frames that are vertical and thin that in this set with a tear on one edge, which is what I'm going to need for my photo. So I'm going to try them both. So I'm going to select them, and then I'm going to drag them into the top bar space on Affinity Publisher. Doing that opens them up as individual files. If I dragged them into the space on this page, then it would put them in the page as a linked item, and I don't want that. So now for my photos. So this is the photo of my daughter, well, both my daughters actually, on Christmas morning, and they are looking fabulous. Both of them wearing dresses I've made, and this is the dress that we're going to focus on today. Unfortunately I don't have one of me in this dress. There we go. And looking at the space, I'm going to want to make it about this sort of size, but crop that down. Let's see, I don't need anywhere near as much of that wall. I don't need to go much beyond my girl's fate, but we will have some of that tree because obviously it's Christmas Day. So there we go. That will be my base, and these templates, they have a white edge round, so I'm going to put a mat behind that. So let's draw a rectangle. Give that a matte base layer, so okay. And then the dress photo of me in the same dress was taken at a friend's wedding. Let's put that at the top. Oh, I don't need that anymore. Right, so the colours are a bit weird, but it's an old scanned photo, and I could adjust the colours to balance, but as it's a grey and white monotone dress and the dress is the focus, I'm actually going to switch it to black and white. I can do that with a adjustment layer, black and white. So let me see, I think the balance is mostly okay on that. Let's just take down the yellow slightly and the red as well. There we go, that's giving that a nice sharp clear look, and I think I want to increase the contrast and stuff as well. So another adjustment layer, this time brightness and contrast. Let's increase that contrast and maybe take that brightness down a little. Okay, right, so this is the one that I'm going to tear to put over the top, and so I'm going to try it in 2 different frames, so let's just duplicate it and then I can try it twice and then see which one I like best. So selecting everything in this frame, grouping it together, copy and then paste above my photo. Right, then clipping that photo to the mouse by dragging it to the right of the icon. And keep clicking on that. That's not great. Right, so now I've got this framed image. It doesn't look like I've clipped that very well. Why hasn't that clipped into that mask at the right? Okay, I'll have a look at that in a bit. So here we go with that here. Oh, that's why it's a bit, the frame is narrower than what I need, a bit wider than what I need for this photo. So let's try the other group. Control A, group, copy. Let's paste that one on, but we need to flip it, so this is flip horizontal. And making the frame smaller. Yes, that's going to fix that problem I was having. Let's put the photo into the mask and move it on top there. Let's resize so that I'm the same kind of height as my daughter. Dress hem in the same place and then pop it so that the divide works in keeping with the challenge. So that's my both my photos. That's the one that I've discarded, isn't it? Yes, let's get rid of that, let's delete that. So that's my 2 photos. Let's put the lower photo into the same group so that they all stay together. And width wise, it's now taking a similar amount of space to that piece that I'm using as a guide, and we'll just center it on, and now I can delete that old group that I don't need. the journaling next. Right, the story goes in here, and the story is currently going all the way across there, but I'm going to move it so it's only down here. What are we going to say? Right, I was delighted to see him. We'll tidy that up later, but the story is there. So that's all the main elements of my page needed. The photo tear for the challenge, my story, and now we'll start decorating the page. I'm just going to close these zones. They're out of the way. I don't like clutter on my desktop. Right, now this dress, you can't see it very well in this video, but the print on this dress is music print. So as it's a Christmas day, I've looked through all my Christmas kits and found this one by Lynn, Grieveson and Rachel Jefferies. It's from their Hear My Voice collaborative collections, number 8, Carol Singing. There's lots of grey, black and white and off-white prints in here that contain music notes, so I thought that would be perfect. I'm going to start with a background paper, and I'm thinking of something like this, or this. That one. Now, so I don't move it about later, I'm locking it, and that gives me a base on which to build that's not just plain white, so I can see the balance of the page. The mat in the photo, I'm going to have a look to see if we've got a white or white paper in the paper mix that I can put there. Let's take this one, rotate it and put that to that mat so that it's the same in keeping, and I'm going to do the same with the frame, but when I do that I lose the original texture of the photo frame in the set. So, but I want the colour, so if I take this and just set it to darken, then the two will merge together and give the, so I still maintain the tornage look. Right, now for my Harlequin pieces. Where these red ones are, I'm going to go for a dark print, and so I'll take this one, and I'm going to copy it because I'm going to use it more than once, and crop it to everywhere where there's one of those red diamonds. Okay, this one here I'm going to move the paper around that's inside the crop so that we get more of the print. Let's just save before I lose everything if a computer crashes. My grey dress. And so for the lighter spots, let's go for the lighter part on this background. I don't actually need print in these ones, I don't think. Let's keep them as white. And then where the yellow ones are, we'll go with a pale print with music print on it. Okay, now for these ones I'm going to go for a dark print, a grey paper that's got something else on it that's not music notes, so those stars are quite nice, so let's go with those. And I'm just going to hide that, see what we've got behind here, just in case I move that photo around. Let's make sure that all the triangles have papers in them. Now what was I using for yellow? I think that was this, wasn't it? Okay. So what else have we got? That's some stars, those are nice. So if we put those where the pale green is. I know we're not strictly in the grey and white at the moment of the dress, but we're just mirroring it in the kit, not matching it. Let's turn that photo back on. And these ones are either, what have we got in the mixed media papers? I think we're going back in here, and we've got the Christmas trees. Let's just see how that works. Yeah, that might be okay. The template includes all the drop shadows for these paper pieces, so let's just select all of those paper pieces and their shadows and group them together and then lock them. I'm just going to leave them while I look at the rest of the page. I want something festive with it, but I'm looking at it and I'm deciding that I actually don't want all of this part of the lower photo. So that photo, let's go back to the cropping tool. Actually, it doesn't look like I used the cropping tool. Let's just take it out of its rectangle and then move that rectangle to there, I think. Now recrop that. The same with this paper now. Let's move that and recrop the paper to it. That looks a lot better. Now I want some festive pieces to decorate the page a bit, and that text box can come all the way up here. What have we got in elements? Our branch is pretty. We got any kind of, oh yes, we do have some fir tree foliage. So let's start with a piece of that and pop it underneath. No, let's go on top. Let's have that on top. Let's mirror it so that it's off the edge of the photo rather than directly over that dress, because again the dress is the focus. And then add in this one with the berries. Now this is about a dress that I've made, so I want to add some sewing haberdashery items. So I have a kit by ninigoesdigi that will, can't find it, there it is, work colour wise with the papers that I've got in the kit so far. It's called What's Sewing On, which is quite fun, and I'm just going to take some things from the element pack. This is quite a cute little brad with somebody sewing, and we've got some thread on a reel, a sewing machine, yeah, I think that will give me some themed elements that I can add in, and then we can go back to the kit that we're using. I wonder if that will look good behind my photos underneath that little cluster there. And yes, I think it does, sort of sets that corner off a bit. And then let's add the sewing machine. I'm going to put the spool of thread and the sewing button on that side of the photo. That's cropped. Maybe not. Maybe we are just keeping everything all clustered in one space down here. I think a flower underneath that with a splash of colour. Poinsettia. Now the shadows on this template are all going off towards the lower left, so I'm just going to select all of those elements and give them a drop shadow to the lower left. I will make some adjustments shortly, and we'll do the same to my photos. But not quite such a deep one. That shadow hasn't worked, so let's just group that torn photo frame and photo piece together and then put the shadow onto the photo frame. Now, as I'm going to use the same shadow that I've already put on this rectangle here, I'm just going to copy that across to my torn photo group. That was a new feature for Affinity 2, so if you're using Affinity 1, you'll need to do it manually. This cluster here, I think I want a little bit bigger. Pushing down the Shift key, and I can increase them all together at the same amount. Now, as this sewing machine's higher up than everything else, it wants a deeper shadow. And the branch, because it's thin, it's going to need a thinner shadow. And I want the same shadow on the berries, so again I'm going to just copy that special effect across the top. Group all those together as a cluster, so I'm just going to call it berries for now. Let's call that photos. Except the berries have come out of my cluster, I obviously didn't select them. What will they look like underneath that branch? Oh, the colours aren't quite working with that Christmas photo. I'm just going to have a look at what that would look like if I turn it to black and white. So adjustment layer, black and white. Yeah, I think that's where we're going to go, and I think the balance on that is perfect, so we'll leave that at all its default settings. Now for the page balance itself, that entire group, the photo's a bit too big, so again grouping it together with pushing the Shift key down so everything resizes all at once, and we'll pop it here, I think. And on the background underneath those harlequin pieces, I think I need a bit more. And there's these art transfers here, so if we pop that one there, I think that kind of pulls that nicely. Don't have a shadow on that, put a drop shadow on it, but without any big depth, just a small one. Right, now for my journaling, which can't be seen because it's a bit too pale for my page, so let's just take the dark colour off of that paper, and I'm going to set the blend mode to linear burn, and we're going to need a better font. One of my favourite journaling fonts is the Jennifer J by Heather Joyce at TheLilypad. It's from her Sampler 1 set. And we just need to change the font size so it all fits And I think I'm going to increase the leading between these two rows of text. I can do that in Publisher quite easily, and because it's all set up for messing around with text. So let's just increase that and then move it slightly down here. So I'm not liking this blue that's coming off of this. So let's just put an adjustment layer in, use saturation, pick off the blue, take the saturation down off the blue. That's not making any difference. Let's try the cyan, taking down the saturation of the cyan. So that's made it grey. That's much better for what I want. And maybe that needs to be a little bit more. I need something here. Elements, what have we got? This bird's quite pretty. Some beads, what about those? With this. Yeah, they look quite nice there. And this star. There's a sort of a little button sitting in that corner. And if we duplicate that, we've got two buttons in a row there. I think I'm going to call that done. And thank you very much for watching, and I'd love to see you taking part in one of the challenges over at the Lilypad this month. And leave me comments in the comments section if you have any questions or any comments that you want to say about my design, anything you would like to know about Affinity. And if you do take part in this challenge and you use this technique for the first time in Affinity, do let me know in the comments too, so I can come and see your page and leave you some love. Thank you. Blessings.